If you're over 60 and storing your gut health foods like this, you could be growing dangerous bacteria in your own kitchen. I know that sounds alarming, but stay with me because what I'm about to share could save you from serious digestive problems. New research shows 73% of seniors unknowingly store probiotic foods, incorrectly turning health boosters into health hazards. Think about it. You're spending good money on kefir, kombucha, probiotic yogurt, and fermented foods to improve your gut health. But improper storage could be making your digestive issues worse, not better. Here's what's really concerning. After age 60, our immune systems become less efficient at fighting harmful bacteria. So when we accidentally create the perfect breeding ground for dangerous microorganisms in our own refrigerators, we're putting ourselves at serious risk. You're trying to do everything right for your health. You've heard about the gut-brain connection, the importance of good bacteria for digestion, and maybe your doctor even recommended adding probiotic foods to your diet. But nobody told you about these 4 critical storage mistakes that could turn your health foods into health hazards. I'm going to share findings from recent food safety studies that every senior needs to know. Drop a comment and tell me, which fermented food do you eat most often? Yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut? Because chances are you're storing it wrong. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to store gut health foods safely and maximize their benefits. You'll also discover why these mistakes are particularly dangerous for people over 60, and I'll give you a simple 7-day action plan to fix everything in your kitchen right now. Let me explain why seniors are most at risk when it comes to improper food storage, because understanding this will help you take these recommendations seriously. After 60, our immune systems undergo significant changes. We produce fewer immune cells, and the ones we do produce don't respond as quickly to threats. This means harmful bacteria that might cause mild discomfort in a younger person could lead to serious illness in seniors. When you combine this with the fact that many people over 60 take medications that can further suppress immune function, proper food storage becomes absolutely critical. Here's something most people don't realize. Common senior medications can affect how our bodies process bacteria, both good and bad. If you're taking proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux antacids or certain blood pressure medications, your stomach's natural defense against harmful bacteria is already compromised. This makes proper storage of probiotic foods even more important. Now let's talk about the hidden danger that most people miss completely. Gut health foods aren't like regular foods. They contain living organisms, billions of them. These beneficial bacteria are incredibly sensitive to temperature, light, air exposure, and contamination. When stored improperly, several things happen simultaneously. The good bacteria die off rapidly, harmful bacteria multiply quickly, and toxic compounds can form. Most people think they can treat probiotic foods like any other food, but that's where the danger lies. Temperature misconceptions are huge. Your refrigerator might feel cold, but if it's fluctuating between 35 and 45 degrees Fahrenheit, you're creating an environment where harmful bacteria thrive while beneficial bacteria die. Cross-contamination is another hidden threat. Harmful bacteria can travel through refrigerator, air, settle on surfaces, and even penetrate some packaging. When you store your expensive probiotic yogurt next to raw chicken or unwashed vegetables, you're potentially exposing those beneficial cultures to dangerous pathogens. Time sensitivity is the third factor people underestimate. Unlike processed foods that can sit for weeks or months, probiotic foods have much shorter windows of safety and effectiveness. The bacterial cultures are living and changing every day, and improper storage accelerates both spoilage and the growth of harmful microorganisms. Here's a visual that might shock you under a microscope properly. Stored probiotic foods show thriving colonies of beneficial bacteria. Improperly stored foods show dead beneficial cultures overwhelmed by harmful bacteria that can cause serious digestive distress, especially in seniors whose systems are already more vulnerable. Mistake number 1. Refrigerator temperature. Chaos. Let me paint a picture that probably sounds familiar. You go to the store, buy expensive kefir, kombucha, or probiotic yogurt because you've heard they're good for your gut health. You bring them home, toss them in the refrigerator, and think you're done. You're taking care of your health. Right? Here's the problem. Most home refrigerators fluctuate between 35 and 45 degrees Fahrenheit throughout the day. But probiotic foods need consistent temperatures between 35 and 38 degrees to maintain their beneficial bacterial cultures and prevent harmful bacteria growth. Those seemingly small temperature swings are creating chaos for the living organisms in your gut health foods. Why does this matter so much more for seniors? As we age, our stomachs produce less acid. Stomach acid is our first line of defense against harmful bacteria in food. When you're over 60, you simply can't rely on your digestive system to kill off dangerous microorganisms the way you could when you were younger. This makes proper food storage absolutely critical for preventing foodborne illness. If you're taking medications common among seniors, antacids, proton pump inhibitors like omeprazole or H2 blockers, your stomach acid production is further reduced. This means that if harmful bacteria do make it into your system through improperly stored foods, your body has fewer natural defenses to fight them off. Let me explain the science behind temperature control so you understand exactly what's happening. Beneficial bacteria like lactobacillus and bifidobacterium are incredibly temperature sensitive. When temperatures rise above 38 degrees, these good bacteria start dying rapidly. At the same time, harmful bacteria like E. coli, salmonella, and listeria begin multiplying. The danger zone for bacterial growth is between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit, and many home refrigerators spend time in the lower end of this danger zone without owners realizing it. Temperature fluctuations happen more often than you think. Every time you open your refrigerator door, the temperature rises. When the compressor cycles on and off, temperatures vary. When you put warm leftovers in the fridge, everything around them gets warmer. These fluctuations might seem minor, but they're killing the beneficial bacteria you're paying good money for, while potentially allowing harmful bacteria to multiply. Here are the real-world consequences seniors who consume probiotic foods stored at improper temperatures report: more digestive upset, not less. They're not getting the immune benefits they're expecting. Worse, some experience food poisoning symptoms that they don't even connect to their healthy foods because they assume probiotic foods are automatically safe. Let me give you practical solutions right now. First, buy a refrigerator thermometer and place it in the main body of your refrigerator, not the door. The door is the warmest area and doesn't give you an accurate reading. Check this thermometer daily and adjust your refrigerator settings to maintain 35 to 38 degrees consistently. Second, understand your refrigerator zones. The back of the main shelf is usually the coldest and most consistent area. This is where your probiotic foods should live. The door shelves experience the most temperature variation, so never store gut health foods there, despite what the manufacturer's door layout might suggest. Third, choose the right containers. If you're transferring probiotic foods to different containers, use glass rather than plastic. Glass maintains temperature better and doesn't interact with the acids produced by beneficial bacteria. Make sure any containers are completely airtight to prevent temperature fluctuations from air exposure. Fourth, implement a batch storage strategy. Instead of buying large quantities that sit in your fridge for weeks, buy smaller amounts more frequently. This ensures you're always consuming probiotic foods at their peak potency and safety. Here's a money-saving insight. Proper storage can extend the life of probiotic foods by 40% and maintain their bacterial potency much longer. The average senior spends about $500 per year on gut health foods. Proper storage techniques can save you over $200 annually by reducing waste and ensuring you get the full health benefits from every purchase. Mistake number 2. Cross-contamination catastrophe. Picture this scenario. You store your probiotic foods next to raw meats, unwashed vegetables, or leftovers from last week's dinner. You might think that as long as everything is in sealed containers, you're safe. Unfortunately, that's not how bacterial contamination works, and this mistake is particularly dangerous for seniors. Harmful bacteria can transfer through refrigerator air, settle on surfaces, and even penetrate some packaging materials. When you create an environment where dangerous pathogens can reach your probiotic foods, you're essentially turning your health foods into potential sources of illness. Here's why seniors face greater risks from cross-contamination. People over 60 take 2 to 3 times longer to recover from foodborne illness compared to younger adults. Your immune system's response is slower, and many common medications can actually worsen food poisoning symptoms. If you're taking blood thinners, diabetes medications, or immunosuppressive drugs, a case of food poisoning that might be mild for someone younger could require hospitalization for you. Let me walk you through the most common cross-contamination sources that seniors miss. Raw meat proximity is the biggest threat. Even when meat is wrapped, it can release bacteria containing droplets into the air. These airborne bacteria can settle on nearby containers, including your probiotic foods. Refrigerator air circulates constantly, carrying these contaminants throughout the entire appliance. Unwashed produce is another hidden danger. Fruits and vegetables can carry harmful bacteria, pesticide residues, and other contaminants that affect the delicate balance of beneficial bacteria in your gut health foods. When you store unwashed produce near probiotic foods, you're creating opportunities for cross-contamination that can overwhelm the good bacteria you're trying to consume. Dirty containers represent a third contamination source that many people overlook. Reusing containers without proper cleaning, especially if they previously held raw foods or leftovers, can introduce harmful bacteria directly into your probiotic foods. Standard dishwashing doesn't always eliminate all bacterial contamination, particularly in container seals and threading. Hand transfer is the fourth contamination pathway. Every time you handle your probiotic foods, you're potentially transferring bacteria from your hands to the food. This is especially concerning if you've been handling raw foods using the bathroom or touching surfaces without washing your hands thoroughly. Now, let me give you a proven prevention system that eliminates these contamination risks. First, implement zone storage in your refrigerator. Create separate areas for different food types. Raw meats on the bottom shelf, where drips can't contaminate other foods. Probiotic foods on the middle shelf, away from potential contaminants, and produce in designated drawers. Second, establish a container hierarchy. Use glass containers with tight-fitting lids for probiotic foods. These provide the best protection against airborne contaminants and don't harbor bacteria in scratches like plastic can. Never reuse containers that have held raw meat for probiotic foods even after washing. Third, develop cleaning protocols that won't harm beneficial bacteria. Use EPA-approved sanitizers that are food safe, but avoid cleaning probiotic food containers with antibacterial products immediately before use, as residues can kill beneficial bacteria. Hot water and dish soap are usually sufficient for regular cleaning. Fourth, practice professional food safety handling techniques adapted for home use. Always wash your hands before handling probiotic foods. Use clean utensils each time you serve from containers. Never double dip or use the same spoon for different foods. Let me share a real-world example that illustrates why this matters. Martha from Ohio thought she was doing everything right by eating probiotic yogurt daily for her digestive issues. She stored it properly temperature-wise, but kept it next to raw chicken and unwashed salad greens. She couldn't understand why her digestive problems weren't improving and sometimes even seemed worse. After learning proper storage separation techniques, she reorganized her refrigerator to prevent cross-contamination. Within 2 weeks, her digestive issues improved by 60%, and she finally started experiencing the gut health benefits she was seeking. Mistake number 3. Expiration date. Misunderstanding. Here's a dangerous misconception that affects millions of seniors, thinking that sell-by dates are the same as safe until dates, especially when it comes to probiotic foods. This confusion can lead to consuming foods that have lost their beneficial properties or worse, developed harmful bacterial overgrowth. Probiotic foods have completely different safety and effectiveness windows compared to regular processed foods. The living bacterial cultures they contain are constantly changing, and understanding these changes is crucial for both safety and getting the health benefits you're paying for. Let me decode these date labels so you can make informed decisions. Best by dates indicate when probiotic foods will have peak bacterial potency and flavor. After this date, beneficial bacteria counts decline rapidly, meaning you're getting fewer health benefits even if the food is still safe to eat. Use by dates are more critical for safety. They indicate when the manufacturer can guarantee the product is safe and effective. Sell-by dates are instructions for retailers, not consumers, but they're often the most prominent dates on packages. These dates are usually several days to a week before the actual expiration, giving stores time to sell products while they're still fresh. However, many seniors see these dates and assume the food becomes dangerous immediately after, leading to unnecessary waste. For probiotic foods, there are also unlabeled time frames you need to understand. Once you open a container of kefir, probiotic yogurt, or kombucha, the clock starts ticking much faster. Exposure to air temperature changes from being out of the refrigerator and potential contamination from utensils all accelerate both beneficial bacteria death and harmful bacteria growth. Senior safety priorities require a different approach to date checking than younger people might use. Your immune system's reduced efficiency means you can't afford to take chances with borderline foods. Visual inspection becomes critical. Look for any changes in color, texture, or appearance that might indicate bacterial overgrowth or spoilage. Smell test techniques are important, but they need to be done safely. When checking probiotic foods, open containers slowly and smell from a distance first. Probiotic foods naturally have tangy, slightly sour odors, but sharp, unpleasant, or off odors indicate spoilage. If you detect any ammonia-like smells, alcohol odors where there shouldn't be any, or putrid scents, discard the food immediately. Texture changes provide another warning system. Probiotic foods should maintain consistent textures throughout their safe consumption period. Separation in yogurt or kefir is normal, but chunky textures, slimy surfaces, or unusual thickness can indicate harmful bacterial overgrowth. Mold growth, even small spots, means the entire container should be discarded. Here's the potency factor that most people miss. Beneficial bacteria in probiotic foods decline predictably over time. Fresh products might contain 10 billion beneficial bacteria per serving, but after sitting in your refrigerator for 2 weeks past the best by date, that number might drop to 1 billion or less. You're still consuming calories and spending money, but you're not getting the therapeutic benefits that drew you to probiotic foods in the first place. Effectiveness windows vary by product type. Yogurt typically maintains beneficial bacteria for 5 to 7 days past the best by date if stored properly. Kefir has a shorter window of 3 to 5 days. Kombucha can actually improve with age if stored correctly, but only for about a week past its date. Fermented vegetables like sauerkraut have longer windows but can develop harmful bacteria if stored improperly. Cost-effectiveness analysis shows that using expired probiotic foods is essentially throwing money away while potentially harming your health. If you're not getting beneficial bacteria, you're just consuming calories without therapeutic benefit. It's better to buy smaller quantities more frequently than to risk consuming ineffective or harmful products. Smart shopping strategies can help you maximize freshness and value. Shop for probiotic foods at stores with high turnover. Busy grocery stores typically have fresher inventory than small shops. Check dates before purchasing and choose products with the latest dates even if you have to reach behind front products. Consider buying from health food stores that specialize in probiotic products as they often have better storage practices and fresher inventory. Purchase timing matters more than you might think. Shop for probiotic foods at the beginning of your week rather than the end, so you're consuming them at peak freshness. Avoid buying large quantities unless you know you'll consume them quickly. Plan your consumption rate realistically. Many seniors overestimate how quickly they'll eat probiotic foods and end up wasting money on expired products. Mistake number 4. Container and packaging errors. The final mistake that's sabotaging your gut health investments involves the containers and packaging you use to store probiotic foods. Many seniors unknowingly transfer their expensive kefir, yogurt, or fermented foods into containers that actually harm the beneficial bacteria they're trying to consume. Plastic containers present multiple problems for probiotic food storage. Certain plastics leach chemicals that can kill beneficial bacteria over time. BPA and phthalates common in older plastic containers create toxic environments for the delicate bacterial cultures you're trying to maintain. Additionally, plastic develops microscopic scratches that harbor harmful bacteria even after thorough washing. Metal containers create their own set of issues. Some metals react with the natural acids produced by beneficial bacteria, creating compounds that are both harmful to the bacteria and potentially toxic to consume. Aluminum and certain steel alloys are particularly problematic for acidic probiotic foods. The original packaging dilemma confuses many people. Sometimes you should keep probiotic foods in their original containers, and sometimes transferring them is better. The key is understanding when each approach works best. Original packaging is designed specifically for the product and usually provides optimal protection during the manufacturer's intended shelf life. However, once opened, some original packaging becomes less effective at maintaining freshness and preventing contamination. Let me give you senior-friendly storage solutions that address the specific challenges people over 60 face. Glass containers offer the best protection for probiotic foods because they don't react with acids, don't harbor bacteria and scratches, and maintain consistent temperatures better than plastic. Choose containers with wide mouths that are easy to clean and access, especially if you have arthritis or limited hand mobility. Airtight requirements are critical because oxygen exposure kills beneficial bacteria rapidly. When beneficial bacteria die, they create an environment where harmful bacteria can flourish. Look for containers with silicone gaskets that create true airtight seals. Avoid containers with damaged or worn seals, as even small air leaks can compromise your probiotic foods. Size considerations help prevent waste while maintaining freshness. Choose containers that match your typical consumption patterns. If you eat a small amount of probiotic food daily, use smaller containers that you'll empty within a few days, rather than large containers that expose the food to air repeatedly over weeks. Accessibility design matters especially for seniors. Choose containers with lids that are easy to open even when hands are wet or you have reduced grip strength. Screw-on lids with ridged edges work better than snap-on lids for most seniors. Consider containers with measurement markings so you can easily track serving sizes. When it comes to transfer techniques, timing is everything. If you're going to transfer probiotic foods to different containers, do it immediately after purchase, not after they've been sitting in opened original packaging for days. Use completely clean dry containers and clean utensils to prevent introducing harmful bacteria during the transfer process. Sanitation processes need to be thorough but not harmful to beneficial bacteria. Wash glass containers in hot soapy water and rinse completely. Air dry rather than using dish towels, which can introduce bacteria. Avoid using containers immediately after cleaning with antibacterial products, as residues can kill beneficial bacteria along with harmful ones. Portion control strategies can help you maintain freshness while making your probiotic foods more convenient to use. Consider dividing large containers into smaller single-serving portions immediately after purchase. This limits air exposure and contamination risks while making it easier to grab healthy portions throughout the week. Cost-effective solutions don't have to break your budget. Many effective glass storage containers are available at reasonable prices. Mason jars work excellently for many probiotic foods and are much less expensive than specialized storage systems. Look for sales at kitchen supply stores or consider buying sets rather than individual containers. Repurposing household containers can work if done safely. Glass jars from other food products can be excellent for probiotic storage after thorough cleaning. However, never reuse containers that held non-food items, cleaning products, or raw meats even after extensive cleaning. Long-term investment thinking shows that quality storage containers pay for themselves quickly. A set of good glass containers might cost $50, $100, but they can extend the life and effectiveness of your probiotic foods significantly. When you consider that many seniors spend $400 to $600 annually on gut health foods, investing in proper storage makes financial sense. Let's quickly recap the 4 critical storage mistakes that could be sabotaging your gut health goals. First, refrigerator temperature chaos. Those fluctuations between 35 and 45 degrees are killing beneficial bacteria while allowing harmful bacteria to multiply. Second, cross-contamination catastrophe. Storing probiotic foods near raw meats. Unwashed produce or in dirty containers introduces dangerous pathogens. Third, expiration date. Misunderstanding. Not knowing the difference between sell-by, best-by, and use-by dates, or ignoring the shortened timeframes once containers are opened. Fourth, container and packaging errors. Using plastic or metal containers that harm beneficial bacteria or compromise food safety. Remember why these mistakes are particularly dangerous for seniors? Your immune system changes after 60, making you more vulnerable to harmful bacteria. Many common medications reduce your natural defenses against foodborne illness. Recovery from food poisoning takes 2 to 3 times longer for seniors than younger adults. Here's your 7-day action plan to fix everything in your kitchen right now. Day 1. Check your refrigerator temperature with a thermometer and adjust settings to maintain 35 to 38 degrees consistently. Day 2. Reorganize your refrigerator zones. Raw meats on the bottom, probiotic foods in the middle, produce in designated areas. Day 3. Audit all your current probiotic foods for expiration dates and signs of spoilage. Discard anything questionable. Day 4. Invest in proper glass storage containers with airtight seals for transferring open probiotic foods. Day 5. Implement your new storage routine and practice proper handling techniques. Day 6. Test your knowledge by teaching these principles to family members or friends. Day 7. Evaluate any improvements in digestive comfort and make notes about which changes had the biggest impact. Imagine enjoying your probiotic foods, knowing they're working at maximum effectiveness for your gut health. Picture opening your refrigerator and seeing perfectly organized, safely stored foods that are actually delivering the health benefits you're seeking. Research shows that proper storage can improve probiotic effectiveness by up to 85%, meaning you get more health benefits from the same investment. These changes will help you avoid the digestive upset that comes from consuming compromised probiotic foods. You'll stop wasting money on products that have lost their beneficial properties. Most importantly, you'll gain confidence that your efforts to improve your gut health are actually working. Which mistake were you making? Share in the comments below. I read every one and often reply with personalized advice. If this information helped you realize you need to make changes in your kitchen, share this video with a loved one over 60. It could prevent serious digestive issues and help them get the most from their gut health investments. Subscribe and ring the bell for more senior health tips that actually work. I'm committed to helping people over 60 navigate health information that's specifically relevant to your age group and circumstances. Your gut health is foundational to your overall wellness, and proper food storage is a simple but crucial step in that journey.